Hey, g'day folks, how you going? Welcome to another one of my reviews. Yep, I know, you're thinking, why the hell would you want to take a ladder away with you when you go on holidays? Well, to find out, stick around for the rest of it, and while I run the intros, then just go down and hit that subscribe button down the bottom and the thumbs up as well. And we'll see you in a minute. So the question is, why do you want to take a ladder away with you? Well, it's quite simple. You're in the kids, you're in the park, playing with a ball, frisbee or something, and it goes up in the tree. You've got a ladder to get it out of the tree. No, not really. A couple of reasons of why I think you need a ladder. I'll give you two examples. On my Perth to Darwin trip, when I was up in Darwin, my TV aerial wasn't working properly, so I wanted to get on the roof to have a look at it. Didn't have a ladder, couldn't get up there, so basically couldn't fix it. You might have things like your roof hatch might need some repair work. Maybe you've got a leak in the roof or something, you want to get on the roof. Maybe your aircon cover may be coming loose, you might need to screw it back in again, you need to get on the roof. So that's one example of why you want the ladder. And that's with a caravan. Without a caravan, I used this ladder on our Mount Augustus trip. I had everything packed on top of the ute because I didn't take the caravan. I used a ladder to be able to climb up onto the roof rack to be able to get up and pack my rooftop tent up. I could get up on the roof to get into my box that had my clothes and stuff in it for packing and unpacking the roof. It was just so handy. Problem is, what kind of ladder do you take? Now, I've seen people with ladders on the front of their A-frame of the caravan. I've seen people store them on the back of their caravan. And the problem with on the back of the caravan, if it falls off, you'll never know about it. In fact, I was driving down the road one time and saw a caravan with a ladder across the back of it, and it didn't look all that well in there, so I tried to pull the bloke over and he wasn't very impressed. You can imagine he was telling me all sorts of things and suggesting lots of things with his hands to me, but I eventually got him to stop, and then he sort of, well, what the hell, Then when I told him what the problem was, he was a bit sort of red-faced and that, but he was appreciative of the fact that I told him about his ladder looked like it was going to come out, so he could fix it before he lost it. I mean, I've driven down the road and I've seen ladders sitting in the middle of the road in the bush, and you can't help wondering, did that come off the back of somebody's caravan? But like I said, what kind of ladder do you get? You get an A-frame ladder? Do you get one of those extendable ladders? Trying to find somewhere to store them is the problem. Now, I had seen these telescopic ladders at the caravan camping show, and I thought maybe that's an idea, but it wasn't caravan camping time, so it was a fair while before that was going to come around. So I had a bit of a look on the internet and I found one there. And that's what we're going to have a look at now. Now, I found this ladder on eBay. It's only a cheapie. I think it cost me about $100. It's a 3.8 metre ladder. It's a little bit taller than what my caravan is, because my caravan is about 3, and I wanted to have a little bit of extra height above the van so that I could easily get onto the van if I needed to. The other advantage to doing that is if you extend it to the full length, then as you get to the top, you're starting to get into thinner pieces of aluminium, where if you've got a longer ladder, but you don't use the top section of it. You're using quite thick aluminium, so it's a lot stronger. That's my theory anyway. So that's why I ended up choosing the 3.8 metre ladder. This can take weights up to 150 kilos. Now, when you extend it out, I used to, hang on a second. That'll do. When I extend it out, I used to pull from the top and just pull up. And as you pull it up, each section locks into place. You've got to make sure when you're pulling it up, you can hear good solid clicks as it locks up. If it's only one side clicks in, you can hear it's not quite a solid click. You've got to make sure both sides are in, and that way it's safe for you to climb on it. If it's not locked in or only locked in on one side, then potentially could collapse on you. Now, I used to pull it up like that, and then one day I thought that's a bit of a silly idea because I'm using the thin part of the ladder at the top, and the thicker part down here is basically doing nothing. So now what I do is I put my foot on the bottom and then grab from the bottom down here and pull it up and go that way. That way I'm using the thicker part of the poles. Now when you unlock it to bring it down, you pull these clips in here to the side. This one goes to the left and this one here goes to the right hand side. There are some models of these around where you just have one set of clips and they all come down. I don't particularly like that idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, I just don't particularly like it, because I think if those one sets of clips break, then potentially the whole thing can collapse. Where at least here, if this clip gives way, it's only going to drop, what's that, 30 centimetres? So it's not going to hopefully throw me off the ladder. So I'd prefer to have clips on each individual one. Now when I bring it down, I put my hands on the side here and push it like that, and that way my hands are away, because, well, I was going to call it a pinch point, but if it smacks you in the hand, it's a hell of a lot more than a pinch. So keep your hands right away, push the buttons, and then it comes down. You'll notice this only came halfway, so that way you can have your hands there to be able to bring the next one down. Then when you're done, put the Velcro strap around it, easy to carry, and off you go. So a couple of other things is, now some of them on the bottom down here, they've got the rubber feet. Well, they've all got the rubber feet, but some of them have angled feet, which is a little bit better than this one actually, because with the angled feet it helps you to get that when you are leaning up against something, you've got more the correct angle that the feet are sitting on the ground. Where here, because it's got the more or less a flat foot, when you're leaning up against something, it is tending to just give support on the back part of this pole, not the actual entire pole. And you can see here, this is actually starting to break through a little bit. But it was a $100 ladder as opposed to a $300 or $400 ladder. Now, some of the more expensive ones also have shock absorbers type system in it as well, so when you're dropping it, it's not coming down with that clunk, it's coming down softer on each level, so it's not sort of so abrupt when it comes down. But you get what you pay for. Pay more, get more features. But this is easy for me to store. I just chuck it underneath the bed in the caravan. When I had it on the roof of the ute, it just sat up there and there was no problem with it. One thing I was concerned a little bit about with being on top of the ute was where the dust and dirt, when I was on the gravel roads, would get in here and jam the sides up, and then it wouldn't work. Well, I've had no problem like that whatsoever, so that's certainly not appearing to be an issue. So there you go, that's my little review of my little telescopic ladder. I hope that was useful for somebody. So if you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up, and If you hit the subscribe button down the bottom down there as well, that'll be great. You'll really be helping the channel out. But anyway, until next time, happy travels.